Hey, that was probably an abrupt cutoff there. Sorry about that. I was trying to set up the camera. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Assuming you all can hear me. I haven't checked the chat yet. And yeah, happy Tuesday. Today is Victimhood Tuesday. We'll be getting into that. Speaking of which, so forth, therefore. Nice. Never crush. Oh, there. Right. All right. Hello, all. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. It is cold here. It is brilliant. Brilliantly cold. Not much. Whoop. Turn around. Not much in the realm of sunshine today, but there's more sunshine than yesterday. Hey, buddy. And that's always a welcome. But the snow's good. The snow's good. The deer are out. If anyone knows of a wireless USB camera, let me know. I can't find one. I can find wireless cameras, but I can't find a wireless USB camera, because if it was a USB camera, I could port it through here. And my friends, I could be showing you guys some deer. You think Prometheus is amazing. And of course Prometheus is amazing. But I could not even get started if I was to explain to you the gathering of deer that happens in my driveway every day. And yeah, I think it could work there. Looking into some equipment. It is cold today. I got the window open though. I do have the window open, and it's worth it. It is worth it. I still have some icicles. Love that guy. I still have my icicles. I haven't lost most of them. You could see here's one. When I say lost, when I pull the window out, I lose these guys. They hang pretty long. I've only a few times have I had the icicles actually touch the ground here, meaning my deck, which is about 10 feet up and whatnot. There I am. How's everybody doing? We should find out, James. Just ask. You can just find out right there. Did you guys see the stream yesterday? Anyone see the stream yesterday? William Shakespeare's back and got himself a shot. Ooh, yeah. James, did you see the fake news story about a transhuman man who had operations to make himself a deer and then was shot by a hunter in South Carolina? No. No, I have not. But my gosh, the irony, right? The irony of it all. The bundle James is looking. Well, thank you, Hypothesis. It's good to see you too. I can see you in your icon, which is great. Yeah, it is a beautiful day. Prometheus, you saw him yesterday. He was here yesterday. Hello, Merd Moth. How are you, guys? Where should we get started? Yesterday was a big show. When I say that, I just want you to know that. It's about, 2 or 3 days of work going into yesterday's show. And frankly, I could have done more. In fact, we're going to go over a little bit of that today. Thanks, Josh, for letting me know. Sounds great. I could have done more. Of course, we could always do more. And we'll do some more today. But it's been an amazing year. This apocalypse has been amazing. And yesterday's stream is, I think, just one of many streams where we've dropped some serious good stuff here. And I think that sometimes they get buried in the daily schedule, the daily live stream. I've only been doing this since March, I think. And we already have 200 episodes. And many people will say, maybe not many, but people will say, hey, who's James True? And it's like, oh, you got to check him out. And then they're like, okay, well, I started with episode 197, and he used the word aperture. And now I don't feel well. And I don't know where to start. What should I do? And then you, being the person that turned them on, you're like, oh, well, you just go to... Shit, what's the episode on aperture? And then you're like, I remember that one episode he did, and he had, let's see, it was like love triangle, And then he went in on, there's like a lot of Prometheus in that one. And then he had this graph of this other thing with the tiger, right? And then it was the one, James, where the fish jumped out of the water and grabbed the things. Was it that one? And that's where a lot of us are at, or a lot of people are at. And there's not really a way to fix that, because the hour-long stream is not something that I can. It's not that I can't stay on topic for an hour, although you could argue that. I would be okay with that. It's not that I can't stay on topic. It's that when I do a show every hour, regardless of what happens at 11 a.m., and obviously I've missed some times, but when that's been my goal, it's really not about focusing on a topic. It's more about focusing on being authentically present during that hour. And my hope is that the authenticity, no matter how embarrassing or no matter how boring even, it will have this resonance to it that gives a flavor to the show, if that makes sense. And that's been the thing that I hope has hooked most of you guys. At least I hope so. So, where's all this going? I think it would be kick-ass if on episode 200 we maybe considered changing the format of the show a little bit. And I would love your feedback. I'd love your feedback. And when I say change the format, I'm just going to throw this out as an idea. And I'm open to all kinds of things. I'm just going to throw this out as an idea. Oh, wait. I think before we do that, we should really, really open our Advent calendar. We should totally do this, because this is a tradition of Prometheus that I've grown to love. And someone did claim the candy from yesterday. There were actually 4 book orders. Thank you during live stream yesterday, which is awesome. Bless you so much. And I have not done the math to see who gets what, because the packing is right behind me. And anyway, one of you will get that candy. And today we're opening it up again to another candy. Today is the 8th. And if you order a book from the live stream while I'm live streaming, you will get my candy. And I hope you don't. I don't think you should buy my book. I don't think my book is not even the best apocalypse. It's like a mediocre apocalypse, kind of sometimes, right? It's not really. So hey, don't buy it. I'd be happy to take what's behind door number 8, right next to the beeve. Look at Prometheus. Look at that rock steady. He's a pilot, guys. He's firmly in his cockpit. Prometheus is firmly in his cockpit, and he knows where he's going. And all these doors opening around him, he's like, I embrace it. I know what's happening. I know what's happening. And behind door number 8, we have, what do we have? We have, oh my goodness. Remember that time when Prometheus had all those bloodshot eyes? Do you remember that one morning? And he was gone for a few days, and it turned out he was on that yacht with the groundhog. Do you remember that? The USS, I think it was the America's Cup, wasn't it, Meredmoth? I think he was competing in the America's Cup, and he was totally high the whole time. It was like a, really, he was in the moment. He was in the moment. And that has been encapsulated in a pranic piece of chocolate. Oh gosh, I love these things. Oh man, I hope none of you guys order a book. It's a Kinder Mini. Oh man, these things are good. I've had one of these, and yesterday I thought I was going to have another, but today I feel certain that none of you guys will order a book during the live stream, and this thing will be mine. That's right, this thing will be mine. Now back to the idea of the show. Maribel, thank you so much for this. This is like our graphics department put this together. The Advent calendar. For those of you who don't know why we're calling it a calendar, you could refer to the calendar episode. Well, gee, James, how do I refer to the calendar episode? And you're like, good question. I have no idea. But if we did a weekly show, I'm just throwing this out. What if on a certain day of the week, let's just say Friday, just so we have something to talk about. What if on Friday we did a long live show variety show, and it had little prepared things that were done throughout the week, and it was a more polished show, and it was about a particular topic or theme. And that topic or theme, it would be a calling. If you think about it, all week I could be calling for these topics. I could be calling for ideas on it. And during that week, because the audience is so awesome, we'd be getting all these new ideas. We could do little dojo skits. We could do little little Zoom calls where we could have excerpts from that, right? And then maybe those could be incorporated into that live show. And then, for example, this morning, I went walking with the dogs, and there was 2 blue jays and a red cardinal right here on the bird feeder, surrounded by white. And I wanted to stream it. I wanted to hit stream and just show you that little window for 3 or 4 minutes. And I would probably have done a little talk about why is a blue bird, like, what the hell? Why did we name it the blue bird? There's like a blue jay. There's not a red bird. There's not a yellow bird. But there's like, oh, you're going to be called bluebird. And who knows where that would go? Maybe it would be boring. But what if there was like burstable, quantum, photonish bits that were scattered throughout the day? Some of them would be in my basement as I was digging. Some of them would be on campfires that we were at. And it wasn't a prepped. See, right now I have to wait until 11, and then I go, and then I stop, and then I don't go, then go. And that, is all determined by the soul, the big soul. And it's not necessarily determined by when I'm ready to go. Does that make sense? Which is why I skipped Friday's show. Now, I didn't skip the show Friday, did I? I did a live stream where we just talked, and you're kind of looking at that now, although I do have one thing prepared for you. But that's what you're seeing now. And this technically would be like fodder, meaning that this would sort of be burying what we talked about yesterday. Does that make sense? Because yesterday was pretty sweet. I don't hear of anyone else out there explaining to you why eugenics, healthcare, and vaccines are all exactly the same thing. I don't know of anyone else who's truly doing the work to make sure that you understand why those things are mutually exclusive, why those things are dependent on each other, why it would be impossible for anyone who takes their duty seriously could provide all of us with universal health coverage without implementing things like eugenics and without hiding them inside of the concept of vaccines. I get that it's cruel and it's evil, and how dare we mess with the sanctity and all, and I get all that. But guys, we, through repeated history, over and over and over again, keep electing, keep voting for, keep consenting, keep demanding, keep virtue signaling for, keep yelling at each other's for more. More. And in the last 5 or 6 months, the traffic on this channel has declined. Every month, it's gone down. And we could certainly argue that it's because of my charisma, it's because of my inner being, it's because of the fact that I'm a dick, or that I don't keep my mouth shut enough, or that I don't censor myself enough, or that I don't go far enough, or that I'm not holding the proper posture. All of those things I still consider, and there's still important tactics in there. But something I've noticed that's happened since the day I started, and it doesn't matter if you can see this or not, because I know that it's true, is that since the day I've started, there is an appetite for victimhood And there's an appetite for fear, and there's an appetite for feeling like good versus evil, us versus them, me versus the government. And I've never tried to take that pacifier away from people. I know it looks like I have. I think I've more been focused on making sure that whoever has that pacifier in their mouth understands exactly what they're sucking on and understands the profitability and the security that comes from that victim pacifier. Because since I started doing research, since I started writing books, coffee time here, I kept noticing again and again and again how many times we as a collective consented to things. Not only consented to things, but wanted more of them. And I'm not surrounded, but there are many people around me that insist, James, we are all one. Deep down. Except for that motherfucker over there. That motherfucker's wrong. And this motherfucker's wrong. And this, but James, we are all one. We are all connected. And I've never actually bought into the idea that we are all one. That we are all connected. The law of one, that shit has never done it for me. This idea that all of us are the same has never once thrilled me. This idea of unconditional love and acceptance has never made me feel secure. And it's just the cut of this jib. It's not even something that's right. It's simply, I think I was tuned into sovereignty maybe a bit more than the other person. I think that I've noticed that I thrive not thinking that we are all one. But I've gone to a new place where I don't think it's because those people are wrong. I think it's because those people are being authentic to themselves, just as I am being authentic to me. And so I can't really keep holding victimhood up and bringing it in on a platter and serving it to everybody without first showcasing what it truly is, which means I have to remove the icing from it. I have to take the cherry off the top. And I'm gonna have to fucking rape you if you keep thinking that victimhood, that you being victimized, is the only reason why you're eating this. Because it's not true. Because the pacifier we place in our mouth is not forced on us. We can spit it out at any point in time. And when we spit it out, something important happens. Our tongue is no longer connected to the roof of our mouth. And most of us don't even understand why the hell that would matter. But if you understand that the body is a living torus, that it's a donut, and that at the top of this donut, there's this little flapper called the tongue. And that flapper can not only close the entire section and stave it off, but it can, with the tip, it can touch the other side and complete a circuit. That the top of the mouth and the bottom of the tongue, when they meet, create a circuit. And the exact same thing happens with your hands when you bring them in to pray. You complete a circuit. And most of us have learned to be addicted to not completing that circuit. And I think that most of us have been taught over and over how to exist in the world, but not how to discern it, how to follow the world without discerning it, right? How to obey the world, without discerning it. On the science page this morning, someone posted, the best way to teach is to, the best way to learn is to teach. So if you don't understand something, teach it to someone else. If you don't understand something, teach it to something else. Which is literally the definition of regurgitation. If you do not understand this fundamentally, just repeat it to someone else. And if you can repeat it to someone else enough, they can repeat it to someone else. And the ability for them to repeat is their ability to teach. That their gift as a teacher is directly proportional on their ability to pretend like they understand it and to teach it to someone else. And we utilize these fractal pacifiers on every level to provide us with the necessary stasis, the necessary vibe where we can get along. And it is good to see you, Gander. It is the blind leading the blind, but it's even the comfortable, the less uncomfortable leading the uncomfortable. And it's not really even about what we see, it's about what we feel. And I'm guilty of this too. I was just such a victim yesterday. I've been a victim since Saturday. This is such a petty thing, by the way, and it shows you how weak we can be. But so Sunday. Yeah. Saturday, I'm bringing subfloor home for my new thing. And while I'm pulling it off the shelves, there was like 17 other pieces of plywood that were laid on top of the subfloor. No big deal. I moved all those out of the way. And the subfloor, I'm pulling it off the top one, and that fucking piece of subfloor falls and just right on my fucking foot. And I'm not wearing steel. I'm wearing my boots, but they're not steel-toed. And it just, boom, right on my foot. Not on my toes. Thank God it wasn't on my toes. Holy fuck, thank God it wasn't on my toes. But it got right on my foot. Right now my foot's hurting. It's like, dude, I'm still hurting. I was like, I know, foot. I know. And it whacked me right on the foot. And as soon as it did, you would think, well, this is where James is going to victim. No, this is not where I victimize myself. Because when I hit on the foot, I had my headphones in, which is hilarious, by the way, to walk into a store right now where people are wearing masks and you're wearing headphones that people can't see. It is fucking hilarious to try and have a conversation like that. You should try it, seriously. In fact, you can't even hear people because they're in a mask. So it used to annoy me when like every employee's like, can I help you? What are you finding? And I don't even see that anymore. Now I'm just like that rude prick who doesn't answer. But it's because they're behind a mask. Anyway, I'm getting way off track. Fucker hit me on the foot. And I wasn't victimized yet. I was just like, it's cool. It's cool. And not only did I say it's cool, I was just like, foot, I am really witnessing you right now. I can feel that pain. And as I was telling it that I was feeling the pain, it actually was showing me more pain, which was beautiful because I think the foot heard me. I think that this animism stuff that we talk about is so real. And you'd be wrong to think there's not different animisms inside your body. It's you are not the conglomerate. You can call yourself a conglomerate, it's fine. But seriously, if you were to pull your spleen out and you were to meet your spleen like in Denver, Colorado, that spleen would have its own life. You know, it'd have a wife and kids. It'd be like a traveling salesman. It would have its own thing. A spleen is a spleen. It's there to spleen. It's there to be the spleeniest spleen that's ever been spleened. It doesn't really have the same conglomerate identity that we do. It has its identity, but it's not conglomerated in a collection of electricity because we aren't even our skin. We are our hair, our emanations, the electrical pores, the field around us is what we truly are. And that truly does require a plasma to kind of reach out and touch and grab and say, this is who I am. This is who I am. You could do that. My foot was its own spleen. And I was communicating with my foot. And I was like, foot, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? My foot was like, no, dude, you just fucking dropped a piece of subfloor. I'm like, of course. What a dumb question. It has to hurt. And the foot's like, yes, it does. And I was like, yeah, it has to really hurt. It's like, yes, it does. And I was like, man, I'm so glad that your toes didn't get hurt. My foot's like, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. It is a good thing that you didn't hit my toes because they are so sensitive to that kind of stuff. I'm like, yeah, you really took one for your toes is what you did, top of my foot. You took that bullet for the toes. And the top foot's like, yeah, man. Yeah, I get what you're saying. And I held this bubble of plasma around my foot in pure witness. I turned my music off and I just gave it witness. And I was like, if you're broken, it's okay. If you have to die, it's okay. I'm a little bit dramatic with my foot, but it's like, whatever you have to do, foot, I'm here for you, man. I'm here for you. And the foot felt better. It felt okay. And so then I'm walking through the grocery store, the hardware store, and I go to get joist hangers, and I buy the wrong ones. And I come home. And then the next day, they're supposed to deliver an appliance. I have stackable washer and dryer. If you guys don't know this, I've got a dryer, and sitting on top of the dryer is a washer. And neither of them are stackable, so I have to lift the dryer up and raise the washer, and then take a broom and stick it in the wall and shove it in to keep the door of the dryer shut because the vibrations kick it open. I've had this set up for 4 or 5 years, and if the dryer would stay working the whole time, I'd probably keep it longer, but it shuts off every 5 or 10 minutes. Anyway. So I was trying to upgrade. I ordered this weeks ago. Sunday, after the foot, I get stood up by the appliance people. This boring story is not even worth it. And I realized that day, actually I didn't realize it till this morning, that I have been hurting emotionally since Saturday. And I saw the opportunity. I think when that subfloor hit my foot, it melted my egoic field because all my ego poured into my foot. And I did that. I took all that witness and I poured it into my foot. Still hurts now a little bit. And I poured it into that top of my foot, and my shields went, ooh, and they just lowered. And they just shut down for a while. And that's when, 3 hours later, it took me till this morning to do this math. 3 hours later is when I ate 5 donuts. Yep. And then Sunday, I lost my entire day. Because I bought the wrong joist hangers, I'm like, fuck, I need to go get the right joist hangers. I could make so much progress today because I have so much to do during the week that I can't work on this thing. You get what I'm saying. Hope you don't hear me complaining. I'm telling you how I was victimizing myself. And I missed all that too because I was waiting for fucking Babylon to bring me one of their appliances. I just felt like a total douche, the whole day. Just I'm such a bitch for Babylon here. And I didn't even get, that was what I wanted. I still haven't gone to get joist hangers. Why? Because Monday show, that's what happens, man. You got show, you got dojo, you got consults, you got research. There's stuff to do. It put me in this fervor where how do I get this bathroom done? How do I get my bathroom done? My aunt wants to come for Christmas. I love that she's here. I want her. She's actually just gone back down. She's gone back up. I want her to have this bathroom. I want a bathroom in my house. I want all these happens. And when you lower your ego, when you do those things, you start to lose energy and you don't even know it. And something's happened in the dojo where some friends have, from my perspective, have turned their backs on me and they're not talking to me and they're plotting other things. And even that was it's just really been a huge leak for me because it's just why do people keep expecting me to read their mind and they get mad at me when I can't read it right? And it's just this similar kind of a spiral. Again, it's an emptying of electricity. What I'm trying to convey, and this is probably boring, I'm sorry, but what I'm trying to convey is that when you suffer an injury like that, your system, your electrical system, is going to do all kinds of weird things. And I think what happened is that an injury lowered my capacitance, and it ended up turning this turbo victimhood. Like I turned on the nitrous oxide of victimhood in my engine. And it's just like fucking Mad Max ever since, of like riding it out and just spilling energy. Yeah, 5 donuts, Gregory May. Gregory, it was 6, and I ate the 6th one like after I had a diabetic crash and was like asleep for two hours. Like I came home 7:30, boom, like out till 9:30, right? Woke up again, 2 a.m. Oh, I think I'll have that 6th donut now because that'll be great. And it was just this dark state. And the state was so dark that you don't know you're dark. And this is why I can have compassion for other people, or this is why I strive to have compassion for other people, because I know when you have a certain electricity, your aperture shrinks. And that aperture is not capable of seeing things. And the paranoia kicks in, and I'm like, oh, all my friends are plotting against me behind my back. That's what they're doing. And I'm building these novels in my head, you know. And all of that is the electrical discharge from my victimhood, from my loss of egoic field, from that injury. And I have no problem if we want to go off on the side thing here and say, you are the one that caused that thing to fall on your foot. I got no problem with that. We can go there if we want. And this is what's so awesome, is that this morning I had a talk with someone. God, man, thank you so much for telling me that. And Brent, oh, my good friend Brent Shineman. I know it's Shineman, but come on, man, he was shining like a motherfucker this morning. It just like cut right through all the fog, and I was able to recover. And even though people are in the chat going, well, why didn't you just do now for the push-ups, says Gregory May. And here's what's so beautiful about that. Greg, is I was able to pull out of that tailspin today. And I did my push-ups today. I did not do them yesterday, but I did them yesterday. And so you asking me now for the push-ups, Gregory May, gives me energy. You were giving me energy. Bible Book Club is not. He's telling me about 6 glaze, 3 double chocolate, 3 blueberry cake at Dunkin', right? And then Amarette's trying to save it. Don't buy the donuts. Don't do it, right? And now Eric's coming in with blueberry donuts at S tier. See, It's ironically, I might need to chop that foot off, Joe Mega, because if I keep eating donuts like this, that's probably what will end up happening. Do you see the irony there? Do you see the, holy shit, who sees the irony? We need an irony bell. We need like an irony bell. I think it would be the perfect time to, feet are not overrated, D-Mac. I love feet. Feet are awesome. And I did my push-ups today, is what I'm trying to say. I did them. I've been trying to get to where I could do 25, then 20, then 15, then 10, then 5. And I think if I do the math right, that's like 75. It's still not what Joe Mega's doing. But he's like doing 100 in under 3 minutes. And I'm like, I think I did a 69. And I'm getting there, though. I'm one hour to be able to do 75. And it'll be soon. Today I was off by 2, 6 push-ups away today to having that. We're 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. And that was an opportunity. I pulled out of the spiral. And I think I pulled out of the spiral only because of how much we talk about victimhood. Only because of how much I see. Excuse me. Donuts. I didn't have donuts today. I think the only reason why I pulled out of the victimhood, though, is because of all the things we're doing in JoJo. Because of the work we're doing with electricity. I swear. I think that there's now more of a mirror on myself where I stalk myself, where I can't do shit like that. It's not, and the reason why is check it out. The reason why is not because I'm a better person or because I've learned the wisdom of the ages. No, it's none of that. It's because it's not profitable anymore. It's because I've declared out in the open that anyone who's pacifying themselves with victimhood is a little bitch. And because I said that out loud, because I said it in front of witnesses, it's now reflected in my field. And when I pull shit like this, I get to see it quicker. You understand? I get to like check in. I get to check in, you know? And it could be a recoil, Joe Mega. It could be. It could be. It could be that the work in the basement is just kind of like feels a little bit like too much right now, only because I'm trying to do everything else too. That could even be why I'm suggesting changing the show format, although this is not the only time where I felt this way about the show. And again, love feedback. Let me know. I'd love all the feedback on what you think with the show as far as format change. Seriously, I'd love that. Because for months and months and months, it has declined, and I think that I'm not giving enough space between the notes. I really think that that's part of it. I think that that's most of it, honestly. Although I would, you know, if this is an entertaining show, well, that's evidence too. I feel like it's probably not, but that could be my victimhood leaking. It could be both. It really could be both, you know. It could be. When I say that that we pacify ourselves because we keep asking for this stuff, I really mean that. I really do. I'd like to remind you all that in 2018, on April 5th, Timothy Cunningham's body was found. I'm sorry, he was actually found in March. It was in the winter when he was found. It was just reported a month later that Dr. Timothy Cunningham was found dead. He was found dead in a river I used to run at all the time. And it was immediately released. There's no signs of foul play. There's no signs of foul play. There's no signs of foul play. And the answer is they don't know how he died. It's mysterious circumstances. They don't understand why his keys, his wallet, and everything was still in his apartment, but he wasn't there. But yet he was found with crystals. He's a rock collector. Crystals in his pocket. And we were supposed to believe that he went for a run. But on the Chattahoochee, there's like a 2-lane, 3-lane freaking dirt path that you can run on. And for him to have a heart attack, he would have to do like this Bluebeard, like stagger, kroll, stagger, and then go through these really thick trees, and then like over this little embankment fence, and then down the embankment, and then get into the water, and then die in the middle of winter while you're running with crystals in your pocket. And it's just, it could be an accident. Totally weird things happen. You know, we all check out. I know that if I die, and when I die, see that? When I die, although I was going to say if I die under normal circumstances, I bet it won't be like completely making total sense. Who the fuck knows what I'll be doing when that happens? But it was enough to go, that's weird. And then it was even weirder to start to figure out that this was the exact same day that Taquito announced their Zika virus was going to be released. And he was a researcher, a CDC researcher, was on the Zika task force. And there's no foul play in there. But because of the Zika scare, we'll get back to that. Because of the Zika scare, well, let's do the timeline right, because I kind of jumped around here. In 2012, the EU banned a chemical called NALED. And then in 2014, the company Takeda lost a $9 billion civil judgment for hiding the risks for a diabetes drug called Actos. $9 billion civil judgment. This was the highest civil judgment that had ever been awarded for a case. These guys were not telling people they actually had the science to show that it was a cancer-causing drug, and they were not showing that to you. My mouse is gone. Oh, there it is. And that $9 billion civil judgment was dropped to $35 million. The jury voted for that settlement. The judge came in after and said, yeah, $9 billion? No, We're just going to charge you $35 million. And Takeda, who made the drug Actos, in court showed that they had made $16 billion off that drug. And the civil judgment awarded them $9 billion. $9 billion. So even the civil jury decided that we're not going to take all your profits from that. We're only going to take $9 billion, leaving them with $7 billion in profit. And the judge said, no, we just want to award you $35 million. And that was 2 years after the EU banned NALED. And 2 years after that, in 2016, we, you, me, America, awarded $19 million to that company to develop a Zika vaccine. That vaccine was released on the day, or was approved for, it was approved on the day that Dr. Cunningham died. On that day, the very company that was saved by a district judge, Rebecca Doherty, appointed by George W. Bush, they were awarded $20 million to develop that drug. Now, because this drug came out, it was decided that we need to kill the mosquitoes. And the governor of Florida, Governor Scott right here, and his wife, took every cent that they were awarded to fight the evil mosquitoes and gave them to their own company. They own a mosquito control service. And for $26 million, they took the $26.2 million that was awarded them to fight Zika, and they gave $26 million of it to themselves. It's all in the news. This is all related to, this was the very first story I ever wrote. My very first research piece was on this story, because it's just like, what the fuck is going on? And that same NALAD chemical, the same thing used to fight Zika virus, was sprayed. Despite the fact that the EU said, don't spray this, it was the CDC that said, no, you could spray NALAD, go ahead. Just do it in the morning. And they did. They sprayed it in the morning according to the CDC's directions. And 4 hours later, you and me lost 3 million honeybees. That 3 million honeybees were lost because we were listening to the CDC and Zika and Takeda, the very company that lost a settlement for $9 billion because they were not disclosing information they knew that was causing cancer. And to take this even worse, this is why I have a problem with victimhood. That these are elected officials. That Scott Israel and Debbie Wasserman Schultz were the ones that killed 3 million honeybees. And they did that by picking and following the CDC's recommendations and awarding $26.2 million to the governor of their state, who used that to spread the fear of Zika and to sell the idea that we need a vaccine. And none of this is hidden. All of this is on CNN News. All of this is mainstream media. This is all regular information, meaning it's been sanitized. And that even as Zika, even as Takeda began to make the Zika virus, that their stock shot way up for the next 2 years. And then mysteriously, everything was sold off. There's still a company right now. You guys know what Takeda makes? Adderall. Not bananas. They make Adderall. That's their drug of choice, Adderall. The company that sells you Adderall, we decided, well, even though you made $16 billion by lying to us about this drug, we can't award you a little bit more than half of that. We can't take that away from you guys. You guys are working so hard to sell Adderall to everybody. And I'm telling you, if you start to look at this law of one crap, if you start to realize the animism of it all, you realize that the land is speaking through its people, even when those people are evacuated. Those people are speaking the zeitgeist, and that zeitgeist says, do not punish government, do not punish anyone for not disclosing the truth, because if we were to start questioning anything that's around us, it would be way, way, way too painful. And we can't afford to do that. We can't afford to have those doubts. We can't do it. And then you start to look at the religion of science. You start to look at the belief of scientism. And this is a shout out to Nate for making these guys. This is really great. This is that COVID statue. I've shown you guys this before in a few streams, but I wouldn't be able to tell you those because they're stored in some weird code where it's named, the victim of the belfry or something. And then in the middle of that stream, there's 3 minutes on this. But this is about a 20-foot tall statue made in the honor of COVID, right? And I want you to notice the hands. That the hands are embracing victory and glory. And that pose, that victory and glory, is also a circuit. It's a gate. It's an arrow, isn't it? It's pointing up. And that's why her face is pointing up. That she's holding the victory and the glory. That this is the Kabbalistic tree of life acting itself on a circuit, showcasing you the scientism, showcasing you the power of circuitry. That circuitry itself is so much more profound in this world than we think. And when you look at your prayer, what are you doing? You're uniting in beauty. In the Tiferet, right? If that's how you pronounce it. You're uniting, you're closing your circuit in beauty. That if we go back to this one, and of course he's a different way, right? If we go to this, victory and glory, right? And then it actually wouldn't be this way if you think about it. For mercy and severity, you would have to stick your arms straight out, right? And think about it. What is mercy? Oh, come here, man. And severity, look how powerful. Look how strong I am, right? And then you have the first prayer. Early Christians, they would not pray to mercy or severity, nor were they crucified to it, nor would they glorify themselves with victory. Nike, right? This is the pose of Nike. That they did something more profound, and they held to the All-Mother and All-Father. Right? To the Abba and the Amma. They held that. This was how you used to pray. This was how you used to pray. And it's all a circuit. It's all a circuit. Om, 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 right? All of these are circuits. When you touch your tongue to the top of your mouth, you're closing a circuit. And you're conserving electricity. And when you find yourself stressed, when you find yourself eating your fingernails, when you find yourself, I can't feel most of my fingers, mainly from all the dirt digging, honestly. I think this all started with just the allergies of just, not like regular dirt, like under the house dirt, like fungal dirt kind of stuff. That you When you find yourself that, when you're eating, when you're biting your fingernails, when you're you're pulling the keratin out of your fingernail, you're destroying the keratin. That destruction is a physioelectric release. It's releasing negative electrons. And that's not negative in a bad way. This is why we don't shit on negative. It's grounding. 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 I am so grounded right now. Everything's so grounded. I feel really grounded. This doesn't bother me because I'm grounded. See? And then when you're biting, what are you? You're not grounded. Right? You're not grounded. You're trying to ground. You're desperate for negative electrons. But most of us live on houses that are above the earth. Most of us aren't touching the earth. You realize that most people used to have, not most, I don't know how many people, honestly, would have blankets with like copper wire. And the copper wire would run into the blanket that had a conductive material inside, and that copper wire would be stuck into the ground. It would ground you. We ground our house. All of our houses are grounded. And if you look at this, what is at the bottom? Malkut, sovereignty. Sovereignty's at the bottom. That's our foundation. Isn't sovereignty. And globalism spins this whole thing around, doesn't it? There's no bottom. There's no ground. Right? Everything's spin. It's a lack of ground. So I think most of these are electrical. Most of this is electrical work. If not all of it. Do we have any grievances? Any grievances, anyone? Are you guys listening? I see people in chat. I know a lot of you guys come to hang out with each other, and that's okay too. But if there's any grievances, now's the time. Love me some grievances right now. Jack 68's earthing. That's not a grievance. When you put your feet on the ground, you ground. That's right, says Doug. The Carolinas for sure. Still, oh, I love that thought, Star Sorcerer. Love to see you in Carolinas. Let's see. What does Mongo have to say, says Candor.
Mongo only pawn in game of life.
That's right. Mongo, only pawn in game of life. If there's anyone out there that has not seen the movie Blazing Saddles, please, I want you to reach in the bottom of your heart. I want you to go watch that movie. I want you to watch the shit out of it. And I want you to come back to me, and you'll be a different person. I have a grievance with HR. Doug has a grievance with HR. Doug, they're going to want you to come in and take a test. I'm not sure why, but they're going to want to come in and take a test. Yep. No schedule change, please, says Hugh. Okay. Guys, 7:15 Eastern. Is that right, Rose? 7:15 Eastern. I have the supreme pleasure of being invited on Rose 777's show. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. And I can't wait. If someone would please post a link to Rose's channel, that would be great. I don't have it handy right now, but I'd love to get you guys subscribed so you won't miss that. 7:15 Eastern Time, Friday. If it's not 7:15, I'll let you know. But I'm going to be on Rose's. I can't wait for that. I can't wait to see that. I'm really looking forward to that. Isn't it a great movie, Kristen? Really, seriously, one of the best movies ever. One of the best movies ever. Joey Mongo. My last name is Mongo, so I was Mongo my whole childhood. Lots of vitriol there. How does it feel now, though, Joey? How does it feel now? I'm curious. Please type. I'd love to see it. You guys watch out for Joey Mongo's answer. I'd love to see what he says there. That's fascinating, right? How each of us have these different electrical things waiting for us. You know what I mean? Candygram from Mongo. Candygram from Mongo. Yes, there is no spoon. You're going to watch the fuck out of that movie. You're going to love it. Yes. 7:15 Eastern. James True on Rose 777 channel. I can't wait for that. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Yeah, I'm upset the golden teacher is a mean mushroom, says Loretta Enigma. Who's your golden teacher, Loretta? Oh, I see. You're saying that the mushroom is your teacher, I guess. Yeah, it could be mean. It is poison. Guys, psilocybin is poison. I mean, it's cool. I'm not saying don't do it, but what you're doing is you're like, hey, I'm going to poison myself, and then the epiphany that's secreted from me almost dying is going to give me insight. It's also going to shed your egoic layer. I believe in sovereignty. I believe that if you do mushrooms or if you don't do mushrooms, that no matter what it is you choose, I think you are the most capable person ever of running your cockpit. So please don't hear that as a judgment. But guys, psilocybin, ayahuasca, these are deaths. They're epiphanic deaths. And the DMT inhibitors are just inhibiting the DMT that's already naturally being produced in your body anyway. All you're doing is simply shedding your field by making it think it's dying. That's all. And it adds, creates interesting experiences. John the Baptist, I think he had an epiphany. I think that it would be hard to not be crucified and have an epiphany, like as you're being crucified, unless you felt victimized by it. That's one of the most amazing things about Jesus, is that his alchemical transmutation was just, whoa. Think about it. You're being victimized by Pilate, by Rome, by society, by your own brothers, by your own disciples, by your own father. And in that moment, he's got enough electricity to fucking transmute that and say, this is my choice. This is my sovereign choice. And I will sacrifice myself. Not for you. Not for others. No. I think that's where we get it wrong. I will sacrifice myself for the true, authentic essence of who I am. It's an etheric gold, right? It's the most powerful alchemy you could do, is to transmute your own death like that. Serious alchemical power right there, right? I mean, damn. You're not messing with that, do you? Matt Z, psychedelics were definitely a disaster for me. Matt Z, it's all about because you're losing that ego, and most of us don't even know we're allowed to build it back up. And most of us who have a big, healthy ego, it's been by accident. We managed to keep it. We just don't know. It's weird how it works that way. The more ego you have, the more generous you're going to be. The more generous you're going to be, the more compassionate you're going to be, the more awesome you're going to be. It's just across the board. More ego's good. Less ego bad, right? You hear that, Blue Jay, too, right? I know, right? Love these guys. Love these guys. James, have you heard? No, I haven't heard that. Brian, Austin, Lambert, Eric Holmes. Yeah, thank you, OKC. Look at OKC. He's got the whole thing there. Friday, 12, 11, 20, 7, 15. That's right. I agree, James. I took mushrooms many times years ago, but no longer feel the need. It taught me lots. But, yeah, Rupert, it taught me lots, too. It was, it taught me lots, too. It also taught me the culture that survives around that is very much an egoic death constantly culture. I was in Rhinebeck, and there was this guy named Bryce, and he's like all about mushrooms, like paranoidly about them. Like, don't you ever talk ill about mushrooms in my presence ever again. And he grew them, and it was like his proud crop, and he like brought them. It's like, here's my mushrooms. And I'm like, oh, you're bringing poison. Great. I didn't say that to him, but it was like, here we are all together. We could like really be enjoying this time, but you want to go poison yourself in front of a fire. But he had that same mentality of ego is evil. We must destroy ego with these magic mushrooms. And that was when I called Vitriol, that was the first dude that started calling me names, yelling at me, like pissed off. Just like, I fucking hate you, man. And it's like, I know, because you don't have an ego, I kept telling him. And he probably fucking lost it last night at the fire. Because when he did mushrooms, the entire group got quiet. Everyone stopped conversing. Everyone stopped being themselves. Everyone stopped being authentic because they were doing his mushrooms. Instead, everyone was just dying. Just having a psychic death in front of witnesses. But no one could admit it was a psychic death because everyone's like, no, we're doing mushrooms to find ourselves. kind of thing. the trauma bond is going to work no matter what. So I'll tell you what, next time you guys want to do mushrooms, come with me down to the hardware store and we will drop a fucking piece of subfloor on each of our foots. And then we will experience the vitriol together and we will be united in the exact same epiphany, but it won't require us to poison ourselves. It won't. But if that's what you're going to do, I trust you more than anyone. I do. I could see why someone would need to do this, guys. I could see why there are reasons why someone would need to have this psychic death. I totally get it. PTSD is a good example of that. Anytime you can dilate someone like that, if you can return them to their here's how to cure all PTSD. Return the victim to their state of PTSD inside a safe, witnessed, conscious environment. That's all it fucking takes. And I say all like it's easy. It's not, because if you experience that PTSD while you're victimized, check it out, that victimization caused the dilation to spike, like amplify. And for you to get them back again, you can't get them back unless they feel victimized again, because the victimization raises it. It's the most insane math puzzle ever. It's actually the exact same thing I go through with the live stream, because I can't have the salacious content, right? I don't get to say, Bill Gates has raped your mom and then he's going to fuck your dog. I don't get to say that, but I have to still bring the same level, that same energy, that same, yeah, but I can't victimize you for it. Do you know how hard that is? I realize it sounds like I'm victimizing myself over the fact that I'm not victimizing you enough, which has got to be confusing as fuck. But do you know how hard it is to come up with an electrical rhythm that dilates you without victimizing you? I'm telling you, it's tricky. And it's not so hard when you're doing it twice, but if you're going to do it every frickin' day for 200 episodes, you're going to have a bad time. You're going to want a pizza instead of french fry. It's going to be tricky. And sometimes, guys, just sometimes when I'm feeling this stuff, it gets kind of reflective. And sometimes I just think,
Mongo only pawn in game of life.
yeah. So there you go. That was the lead up for a joke. Did Joey Mongo answer how it feels now to be? Let's see if he did. There's a lot of comments here. Sorry, Joey. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it or not in there. All right. Did we get all the ayahuasca and mushrooms blew me open? The community I was in when I didn't then abandoned me because they did not know how to hold it. You are the only one that can hold something as powerful as you, my friend. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. Thank you, Amel. That's why I love your streams, James. Thank you, Amel. Appreciate the love from you. I'm seeing that a lot. Appreciate it. You guys are so full of love. It's awesome. Even when I victimize myself, you're still supportive. And not like in a, let's help James victimize himself. It's great. Josh didn't write me like, oh, gee, your life really sucks. No, you know what Josh did? He wrote and said, I did this many fucking push-ups in under 3 minutes. What are you going to fucking do now? And that's fucking love, man. That is solid love. You know, Josh didn't go, hey, Bryce gave me these mushrooms, man. And I know things are bad, so you and I are going to take these mushrooms and we're just going to go explode over the essence of how we're all one because none of us are anything anymore because we destroyed our ego and we sold our immune system so we could walk around going, brah, right? It was very judgmental of me right there. Very judgmental of me. Yes, indeed. Mushrooms make me cry, Juliana. Yeah, I could see that too. Why? Juliana, I've seen your personality. If I was to watch that personality die in front of me, I would cry too. Of course that's going to make you cry. Of course it is, right? Guys, there's a beautiful dojo today. It starts at 12:30. I hope to see you guys there. I'm going to shut down so I can close the window because it's cold in here. And again with the pushy, says Hugh. And yeah. Hey, if you guys want to do me a favor, you want to share yesterday's stream, that'd be pretty freaking cool, man. That'd be pretty cool. I am working on Archduke Ferdinand. Can't fucking wait. Can't wait to show you that. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about epilepsy. I have not forgotten about epilepsy. Okay? I probably forgot about all the other subjects, but I didn't forget about those. Ferdinand, epilepsy. If I would have had Ferdinand ready today, you'd be seeing that. That's why it'd be also cool if I could just go when I'm ready, you know? Let me know your comments. I'd love to hear comments on the show. Seriously. I'd love to have that. Special shout out to my mods, Gaia, OKC, Josh, Joe Mega. Really, really appreciate you guys. Candor was even in there today, too. Appreciate you guys. Nate, if you're out there, I miss you, buddy. Hope you're well. And special shout out to Ava. Thank you for just like pouring that witness light. Oh, God, so bright. Freaking love you guys for that. Love it. And that's right, Nicholas is mining. That's right. Be there. See you there soon, Will. Looking forward to it. Guys, I'm liking the horsey. And if you feel victimized by that, then maybe...
Mongo only pawn in game of life.
Real quick, does the $10 patron get you in the dojo? No, Ja. The $19 patron level gets you in the dojo. The $10 patron gets you supporting the show. It gets you a credit that you see at the beginning and the end. And seriously, if you look at how little revenue YouTube gives me now, patrons is the only reason why this show is happening. By the way, someone told me yesterday, well, James, if you're only watching the show for views, maybe if you're only doing the show for views, maybe you shouldn't do a show. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly how I feel. You fucking nuts? You think I want to sit here and live stream with my window open in the middle of the window when no one's watching? What the fuck's wrong with you? Witness is the most powerful, beautiful gold in the world. Why are we turning around shaming each other, pretending like us doing something for Witness is bad? Are you kidding? Attention from humans is the most beautiful manna in the fucking world. I'm not going to sit here and let you shame it by implying that anyone who's looking for attention is bad. How dare you? How dare you, anonymous person that isn't here to defend themselves? How dare you say such a thing? Man, my mouse just keeps getting lost. Whenever I'm trying to do like a dramatic exit, I'm like, where the fuck is my mouse? And I keep sliding to the right because it's got to be somewhere over the right, and it's not there. There's something. It's so bright here that I can't see it. What if I can't find my mouse and it's just stuck on streaming the whole time? Especially after I made that comment. What am I supposed to do about that? There's create new layer. There we go. I think it's my memory. I think that when the memory runs out, it's like, you know what? I'm not going to show this guy his mouse anymore. Especially after that dramatic comment he made. How dare he? Horsey time, get ready to be victimized by the same song playing every time at the end because James won't change it up because he likes the song too much. James out.